And you're asking, like, what do we do about?
Is you signed a contract with someone.
So real quick, before you did that, did you?
More than 30 years. I got my real estate license in the
And your origin story.
Is that he made an age joke the last time we were. I'm gonna use that Kuka.
You know, I'm a little more strict with what I'm looking at.
Hey everyone out there. We are a little bit later. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. That's all right. So we are here today. Yesterday was a holiday. It was Memorial Day. I celebrated with my family, so hopefully you guys did too. And so at least got you a break from me anyways. So with that being said, we have Wendy Barber, who is a great great investor in the Detroit and Metro Detroit area, mainly in Detroit, in the Detroit proper. So we're going to hear from her about how she's investing, what she's doing. And then we have an event coming up this Saturday that she's going to talk about, and we're going to go through that as well. But, we want to get to the good stuff first, which is, how she's investing, what she's doing, doing the flips, things like that. So let's, with all due to, with all of that said, let's bring on Wendy. Wendy, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So hopefully you had a great Memorial Day.
I did. That's
awesome. So I'm glad that you did, and we are. So just to let you know, we're streaming live to YouTube as well as our Facebook channel, Metro Detroit Off Market Real Estate Group. Okay. So we have about 4,100 members in that group. So if they're not watching live, they're watching on the replay. So, which will be good. Now, for anybody out there who has questions, by all means, put them in the chat. We'll be able to see them, put them on the screen, and we'll be able to answer them as well. So put your, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're in the Facebook group, put your questions in the chat as we go. So, with that being said, today, Wendy, let's do a quick introduction of yourself. And I know we have a lot in the description, but tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get to how you got started.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Wendy Barber. I'm a mother, a wife, and I have 2 young men. I have a 12-year-old and a 34-year-old. And so how I got started into real estate, I started a cleaning service. And I did that probably for about 4 or 5 years. And that was going really great. I had some of the fitness USAs, and then I had some other residential. And it was kind of very challenging at the time to try to find and keep proper help. So then I was doing residential, and I had 40 homes that I was doing by myself, and it kind of got overwhelming. And then I branched out to the commercial. And then after some of the fitness USAs kind of closed down, I kind of branched out, and I was investing into real estate. I started off was going to do a home for a daycare center, but then I was getting calls for adults. So I kind of house and provide a service for people that with special needs. So that was kind of like my niche. It's kind of been my niche for the last 15 plus years. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Okay. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you really had a long career with, sometimes it was jotting around real estate and not directly into real estate, but in business and things like that. And then you ended up getting into it. So tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate? I know you just went over a little bit of it. So tell
Okay.
me a little bit more in depth. Like, did you think you could get in real estate going in?
Well, yes, because I have always, probably since I was about 12 or 13, I have always dreamed about owning real estate. And one of my dreams is to eventually own an apartment building someday. And so I started working at a mortgage company, and I was a head processor. It was like two different mortgage companies. And then I purchased my first property. My very first property, though, was in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
So yes, I purchased that, and that was, a distant. I had a great tenant at the time, so that was basically a buy and hold. And then I started branching off and investing here in Detroit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you start doing Flint? Was it just because that's the deal that showed up at that time?
Absolutely. So there was a deal, and my manager over the office, it was a deal that came through. So I decided to purchase a property, which it was a great deal at the time. And so actually we still have that property. We got to go up there and do some work to it, but it's kind of sitting right now. But that was my very first property. And then I purchased another property where I moved into, and I had that property. And I kind of got caught up in the mix where I had like seven to nine people on my title. And so that was my very first property with Rimco and MCA Mortgage. If you've been around, they were like really big back then. They were really investing in Highland Park. Okay. And then they had some, a lot of properties here, from my understanding, in the Brightmoor area as well.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. So, so you purchased your personal property, and you that was in Detroit, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then you moved out of that and turned it into a rental, or did
well,
you
no,
sell
so
it?
I ended up selling it to a friend, and they still have that property to this day. And so I sold it and I moved on. I bought some other properties here in the city. And then I also got caught up in a mortgage crisis, which was 2003 or 5. I got caught up in that. And then so I kind of lost most of my properties because they was underwater.
Was that the 2008 one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
2008 mortgage crisis. Okay.
Yes.
And how many properties did you have during that time?
I had 8. I had 8 properties.
Oh wow.
And then 4 of my properties with one lender. I had buyers for all of my properties, but they didn't want. They was like the value was too low. But I was offering each of my properties at least about $100K, and someone like my primary property, they ended up selling it for $30,000. I was sick.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I filed BK around that time, trying to salvage my credit. I was paying close to $10,000 a month, trying to maintain my credit and save my properties back then.
Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't know, BK is bankruptcy.
Yes.
And it's a hard subject, and I gotta say that sometimes people need a fresh start, and that's why they have that. Okay. And I hate to say it, but I did it myself. I was the same way in 2016. It was just, I felt it was underwater, and it felt like I was working for the banks. I was working for the credit cards. I was working for everybody, and I barely had enough to pay to even get groceries. So yeah, I ended up doing that as well, declaring bankruptcy, and it's a reset, and it gets you. You start thinking about things a lot better.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. You're like, okay, I don't ever want to go through that.
Absolutely. It was a very stressful time, like my primary house. And then I ended up purchasing another house, trying to get that house before my credit got bad. So it was a really bad time of my life,
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't recommend it to anybody, but it is a last resort. By all means, it's a last resort. So, and you know, it's definitely, so I feel for you on that because I've been through that. You know, I really do. Now with that, when did you start flipping houses?
So I haven't did a flip yet,
Oh, okay.
which that is on the horizon. That's coming up. I've been looking
Okay.
at different places, but my strategy for the last several years has been buy and hold. And so
Okay.
again, I provide services to people with special needs. And so
Okay.
some of the homes that I have is for them, for my seniors and stuff, people with mental health or mental
Got it.
wellness issues. So I like to provide a service for them in a nice home for them. So that's
Got
my
it.
strategy at the present time. And then I also kind of then branched off into short-term rentals, like the Airbnb.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Now, does that do you get paid a premium for doing that, for doing the special needs? And I mean, is it guaranteed money like a Section 8, or, you know, is it subsidized or anything like that? Do you go through an agency to be able to get all that, or like how does that work?
It's not subsidized. However, most they pay through their income, and then if they're in a licensed facility, then their income you get an extra certain amount through Social Security, and because it was like a third party, they kind of have downsides throughout the last, I want to say like 10 years. So like before, like in the early 70s, if you had a client, you could get it sometimes an extra $200 to $300 per day. But now they have drastically decreased the amount. So you basically kind of whatever the person could pay and what you're charging. But the best way kind of to do it is to kind of have a guardian for the more sake, and then they'll make sure that you get paid.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I have heard of the, say, with the substance abuse housing, they usually have those are going through an agency
Yes.
to place that, and
Yes.
that's all guaranteed money through the agency itself. So, you know, there's also, I didn't know if it was the same type of thing with special needs. So,
it is, but the money is not there like it was. I mean, it's only a couple populations. So yes. And then if you're a nonprofit, though, that could be very helpful because you could get other grants and stuff that could help you, you know, to run your home.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. So,
yes.
You know, obviously you're not a nonprofit, right?
I am now.
Oh, you are now. Okay.
I am.
Okay. So, but for what advice do you have for, say, other landlords that are out there? Do you like the Detroit market? Are you looking outside of Detroit like others are? What is it about Detroit that you like so much?
Well, I guess I kind of have like it's kind of a comfort zone for me. However, my very first home as far as a license was in Southfield, and I had a really nice home on 10 Mile Southfield Road, but it was I was renting the home. But I definitely would like to somewhere down the line possibly get another home in the suburbs or something like that.
Yep. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. A lot of my buyers, they want to deal with suburbs, not proper Detroit.
Right.
And unfortunately, like, I understand their dilemma with that, but you know, as long as you got the processes in place,
absolutely,
for the property, a good property management for the area of Detroit that you're looking into, like you're leaving a lot of say money on the table. It's a lot of the higher percentage of ROI is in Detroit. So
it is. We got a lot of hidden jewels here, and so I love Detroit. Born and raised, so I'm continuing to invest in Detroit. And as I said, it's like I said, we're leaving a lot of money on the table, but it's also, you know, my saying is money in the hood, and you know, oftentimes we overlooking that, you know.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, it's also barrier to entry. You know, barrier to entry is a lot lower in certain areas. There are certain areas of Detroit that they're outrageously expensive. They're more expensive than the suburbs.
Oh,
You know,
that's
Boston,
true. Yes.
Boston Edison is one of them. You know,
Oh, really?
that's probably the highest. Is
Okay.
I mean, you got $400,000 or $500,000 houses. You know, $600,000 houses in Boston Edison.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Yep. And then, you know, Virginia Park, you're still in the, you know, $200,000 or $300,000. You're at least $100,000 for a house that needs $100,000 worth of work.
Absolutely.
You know? So, but you know, the good thing is your ROI on that, because the ones in Virginia Park are probably, you get a higher return because either they're a duplex, so you can charge a lot more, you know, things like that. So
yeah, you can.
Yeah. But, you know, with that, what areas of Detroit do you prefer?
What areas I prefer? The Livernois and 7 Mile area is a great area to invest.
Okay.
I have invested over in Brightmoor.
Okay.
You know, they're going to be building up soon, hopefully sometime soon. And I would say
you like Brightmoor, huh?
Yes, it's much.
Okay.
You know, yes.
I mean, I know a lot of investors who stay away from Brightmoor, so you know, I never come across somebody who likes Brightmoor. So.
I'm over here now.
Okay, awesome.
I'm in Brightmoor now. Yes.
I have another wholesaler friend of mine, Todd Chun. He has a T-shirt that says "Straight out of Brightmoor" because he's from Brightmoor. So
yes, I know
you
Todd.
So I think it's hilarious, but most definitely, I think it's, you know, the barrier to entry over in Brightmoor is a lot less.
Yes.
But I'm hoping the city is going to put some money into it.
Yeah, they talking about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that what I found is the key is wherever you see the city of Detroit putting money into, that's where you want to go.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So if you go to these city meetings and you say, okay, next year we're going to put $1 million, $2 million into this neighborhood, buy it before they do that. And now you're going to get the appreciation. You know?
Absolutely.
So, and just ride the wave. If you're a buy and hold investor, just ride that wave. So that's a little tidbit, by the way.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we had Bagley was really up and coming.
Yes.
And they got really, you know, hit. And then they decided to go, Detroit decided to put more money into Fitzgerald. So now Fitzgerald's starting to come up a little bit more because of that. So
yeah, Bagley is a great area to invest. That's what some of my homes were originally before I lost them in foreclosure. And that was a great area. I had my the house I was living in was on Prairie Street. I had a really nice sturdy 4-bedroom brick with a garage. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
I think I grew up 2,600 square footage. They sold it for $30,000.
Oh my God. Yeah, yes. I grew up right over by there, actually. So I went to Ferndale High School. I grew up at 7 Mile Woodward. So or sorry, not 8 Mile Woodward. So right in Ferndale. So so I know that area actually pretty well because of that.
Yes, it's a great area to invest. Like that's the Bagley area.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So now what do you consider like what's your worst deal that you've had in the past? And then give me your best deal.
My worst deal I had in the past.
And you could even still own it now. That's perfectly fine too. So,
you know, my worst deal was purchasing a property. My worst deal was I had a house on Drexel Street and I was renting that property. I was going to purchase the property, but then they went up probably like an extra $20,000 or $30,000.
Okay.
And so I walked away from that property, and then I ended up moving from there because I was renting the downstairs and upstairs for like 6 years. And then at the time, that might have been in 2005 or 6 maybe. And then I moved on the west side and bought another 2-unit, which was over on Monica, which is the next block over from Oakman. So I ended up saving $1,200 because I ended up buying that house, cash, and then, and putting some work into it. And then at one point before the pandemic, though, that was like a really money maker. I could put 7 people in their home for what I do.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So how was that your worst deal? Is just buying that property, or?
Far as buying it, that was a good deal. One of the deals I did buy was off of 7 Mile, I want to say in Westbrook, kind of the area down there now, kind of like Beirut. It kind of looked worse than the Brightmoor area, I should say. So that was kind of my worst deal because of foundation issue. So I realize now, because I'm more savvy, that you got to look at the foundation. I think I purchased a home for like $700.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yes, it was a great deal as far as purchasing it, but then, it sat for a while, and then the foundation was bad because it was so cheap, I should say.
Yep.
I didn't get an inspection, so it wasn't really worth my while. So I don't have that particular home now. So that was like the worst deal. Okay.
So did you fix that up at all, or did you just get rid of it?
No, I got rid of it.
Got it. Okay. Now what's your best deal?
My best deal? Yep. I would say possibly my primary home. So when I lost the homes to the foreclosure, I ended up moving in a still decent neighborhood. And we ended up paying like it was probably, we ended up getting it for about $12,000 or $14,000.
Wow. Okay. And that was in what area? In the Brightmoor?
Over in, what area is that called? Like over on the other side of Graham Island subdivision area, that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a decent area.
It is.
Yeah. And what is that house? I mean, I'm assuming you still have that. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I still have that home.
So what is that renting out right now?
Well, so that's my primary home now. So eventually I would like to move. Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And so that's your primary home. You got it for 17,000, right?
12,000.
Sorry, 12,000. Yes. And just imagine like paying cash for 12 or 14,000. Now you don't really have a mortgage, and everything is going. How much work did you have to put into the property?
We really didn't have to put a whole lot of work into it. We might have put it like 20,000.
Wow. I'm going to tell you right now, these California people out there, if you're watching this, like you spend more on Starbucks coffee in a year than you do what she just paid for her primary residence. So that's crazy. So yeah, no, it's crazy. That's nuts. That's honestly, that's more than what the cost of me replacing my roof.
Absolutely. And the funny thing about it too, if I kind of been in a better position, I damnly could have at least purchased 5 other homes on that block. Like one of the homes next to me is like running 7,000.
Wow. Now, what time was this? Was this during the 2008, 2009?
About that.
Okay. So I understand why then. Okay. Because, banks were real, my mom bought a house in Hazel Park and she bought it on a foreclosure in 2009, or not on a short sale. She paid $45,000 for it. She got a mortgage for it and everything. And that house right now is she can easily sell that for probably $150,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and that's just her living in it. So, but with that being said, so that's your best deal. What what would you recommend to new people coming out through all the mistakes that you've had? Okay. We get a lot of new people who's just looking to invest. Okay. Whether they're out of state, whether they're not, whether they're in state, and they're just looking, okay, where can I park some money from my day job or whatever, my savings? Otherwise, it's just sitting in an account doing nothing. What would you suggest to them?
So I would suggest, especially if you are coming from out of town, different states, you definitely should find somebody here that you can trust. Oftentimes, people coming from out of town, they trust some of these contractors, and the contractor is half doing what they say they're going to do. You definitely need to have somebody check up on the contractors. Do not send any money down here unless you know they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because a lot of contractors or investors have got scammed that way. And matter of fact, we have an office in Southfield, and if anybody want to hear listening from out of town and need some assistance, I'm one of the ones that they call boots on the ground. So you definitely can call our office, and we kind of can help assist with that if you want somebody that you could trust and go by and check to make sure the contractor is doing what they say they're going to be doing, and not if you gave them X, Y, and Z and they're supposed to be doing quality work, you definitely want to make sure you have somebody to check behind them.
This is Tracy Belinda. She said that's exactly what she's looking for, boots on the ground. And honestly, like I've spoken with you before, Tracy, you got to build your team no matter what. And she just offered she has a place in Southfield that she can be your boots on the ground. So you can do that. You can contact her, contact me by all means. We'll ask you at the end of the show how people can contact you. So stick around to the end of the show and we'll have that. But yeah, that's awesome. So you do boots on the ground for people out of state? I do.
Okay. And I love what I do. I have a passion for it. I'm kind of like the project manager on a land bank house that we've been working on. And so, and even my last project that I worked on, you have to have somebody that's very knowledgeable and going to go in to check to make sure the contractors are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, being fair, and it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Most definitely. And she just said she's coming to Detroit in July. Tracy, get a hold of one of us when you get here. I'm happy to, be happy to take you out to lunch, take you out to dinner, whatever it is, and see where we can help you out. So both of us, either of us, it's up to you. So happy to meet you and kind of go from there. But now with that's really cool that you like to do that for people. I'm kind of the same way, but I strictly wholesale at the moment. So I'm wholesaling with, I get a lot of properties, or I work with a lot of people that get a lot of properties in Detroit, and I come across a lot of them, and I do know the areas in Detroit and look at the different prices and things like that. Usually I try not to overprice them, or if I do post them, they may be iffy, like they may be on the borderline. But we gotta try to squeeze every dollar we can out of them. So, unfortunately, but they still got to be a good deal. No matter what you price it at, always still try to run your numbers the way you want to run your numbers. That's what I tell all my buyers, no matter what. Okay. And I'll even teach you how to run the numbers. No problem. I'll teach them how to run the numbers now. And if it doesn't work for because every investor is different on the ROI that they want to get. So I can't tell an investor, like for instance, if you're the investor, I can't tell you what ROI do you need, right?
Right.
So, because you might be happy with 10% and you're like, oh no, for the risk in Detroit, I need at least 18, so who knows? Right.
Right.
So that's why I always ask my investors, what is your formula? What are you looking for?
I did some wholesaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just didn't really stick with it. It was, I guess it was moving kind of slow in a sense. But yes,
Okay.
Yes.
It's moving kind of slow. Wholesalers usually move pretty fast.
Maybe it was some of the deals and the person I was working with,
Maybe. Well, anytime you come across a deal that you want to possibly wholesale, I'm always open to JVing with people. So
Okay.
I'm happy to work with you. I'll
Okay.
work with anybody, but I give my open and honest opinion. As long as you take my honest opinion, then we're good. So
Well, that's good. That's nice to know.
Yep. So tell me, so before we kind of move on to what you're doing now, tell me a little bit about what's going on this Saturday.
I'm glad that you asked. We having our first expo here, and we're going to be going to different cities. The first one was in Cleveland.
Okay.
And so we're going to be doing one here this Saturday coming up, June the 3rd, at 10 o'clock, 10 to 3:30 at the Doubletree downtown.
Okay.
And we got some great speakers and people that's going to be on a panel flying in. It's just going to be a great event. And if you're a contractor or realtor, or you think about getting into real estate, you definitely want to be there. It's just going to be a great event. Like I said, we got a lot of great people on our panel. I don't know if you can see this.
Yes. And so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to present my screen. All right.
And I would love for people to purchase their tickets. We still have some, but they are going fast.
Yes,
and
they
you
are.
want to network. And when you want to grow your business, you definitely need to do some networking.
Yes. So this is our Facebook page, Metro Detroit Off Market Real Estate Group.
Okay.
And I have pinned it at the top. All right. So
you're the man, Randy. You're the man.
This is the post here. You're going to click on this link. But we see here, this is our Expo Day. All right.
Yes.
June 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3:30. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you, all these people here are very, very, I've looked into them. They have their own right, and they're going to be speakers. My little picture is over here, but hey, I'm not going to be speaking, but I believe they have me set up to teach a beginning wholesaling class.
Yes.
So if you come and join, you're more than welcome to do. We're doing a beginning wholesaling class, and anybody who does do my beginning wholesaling class, I'm giving and especially for beginner wholesaling, I'm actually going to give away a couple contracts that I have. I don't normally hand out my contracts. All right. So, but I'm happy for people who take my class, I'm going to hand out my contracts. All right. So with that being said, we have, you're going to click on the link here. All right. And I'm going to present. All right, there we go. So this is the website you're going to come into, and you're going to go to purchase now. And there's the free option right here. All right. Now, with the first 100 people, this will go away if it's not there. Okay. This is how you get the free ticket. If it's not there, unfortunately, you missed out. I'm sorry. But then you have general admission, where for 2 people, it's $129, which I still think is a deal.
Absolutely.
So for 2 people, it's $129 for 2 people to for all day to see all these people. And by all means, I'm going to, that's awesome. So, with that being said, that's kind of where I would look into that and see, if you can make it, great. That's what I would do. I really, really want to see everybody who is watching this come as much as possible. All right. let's see. And Larick, he said 2 Excel groups, Wendy Roberts and our office there in Southfield. So he put the link in the Facebook group, which thank you. What we'll do is I'll go ahead and copy that. 1 second here. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put it in the let's see. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So there we go. Oh, that's pin comment. All right. Either way, well, if you have any issues on our YouTube, please give us a shout. Go to my Facebook group and check it out. So that we can get you there. I'm also having it in the description as well, and kind of go from there. All right. So check everything out there and kind of go. I'm going to be there. I'm going to cover the event. I'm still trying to get where I can have somebody follow me around versus me just doing it on my phone. Try to be a little bit better at it. But everybody here who watches the show knows that I'm a one-man show. So we'll see how that goes. Now, so tell me about what you're doing now. Okay. And where are you at right now in your investing career, and what are you looking for right now?
Right now, I've been setting up short-term rentals and helping people set up group homes. And so that's what I've been doing. And
Awesome.
again, I enjoy doing that as well. I love decorating and just, getting a house and, putting some love in it from start to the end. And so that's been very rewarding to me. And so I'm, excited about some of the projects that I have that's going to be coming up. And it also is putting on events that we're doing.
That's awesome. So you guys are going to be doing more events, just in different cities.
Yes.
Things like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Now, is this going to be an annual thing, a yearly thing?
Yes, that's the plan. Yes.
All right. So next year we're going to get a bigger, a much more advanced on it, so we can advertise it a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So with that, how can people here help you in your real estate going forward?
Well, they first can go to the site today and the rest of the week and purchase the rest of the tickets. We might still have some free ones, but I'm not really sure. But they could go on the site. And when I tell you just some of the events I've been to, with this many people on stage and their knowledge, you're not going to be able to bring in 2 people for $100 and some. Right. You just not. And everybody, like you said on this panel, in their own right, they could command a higher price. So again, whoever's watching, listening, you definitely want to get your ticket. Again, if you're a contractor, a realtor, you want to start in real estate, you definitely want to put yourself in a room. And that's how you grow your business, meeting people and networking. And so it's going to be a great venue. And as you can see, the lineup is simply amazing. And so I'm super excited that we have it in our, here, this is my city. And I'm just looking forward to the people that's, coming out. Looking forward, to meeting you as well.
Thank you.
I'm just looking excited, for our event that's coming up June the 3rd.
Awesome. So June the 3rd, that's awesome. Now, what about real estate deals? Now, are you currently buying your real estate deals?
I'm not currently buying right now, but if the right deal come by,
Okay.
Yes, we will be buying some deals, but right now, just trying to, some of the ones, we got a couple that's sitting, just trying to repair those. You know,
Okay.
sometimes the population that I've serviced before,
Yep.
depending on the population, I've had some put holes in the wall and stuff. So just doing some upgrading, I should say.
Well, I will say this: if you go into the Facebook group and if you
Okay.
need a contractor or anything like that, by all means, ask. That's the reason I made the Facebook group. Honestly, is for people to ask for what they want.
Okay.
And you know, there's definitely contractors in there. There's decent contractors in there. So
Okay. Yeah, that's the key word, decent.
yes, yes, there are. So, you know, check them out, you know, by all means, you know, see how they are. And, you know, I always tell people this: when you work with a contractor, try them out on small jobs first.
Absolutely.
See how they work, and then work your way up, you know, for each individual thing, you know, and kind of go from there. So, because you don't want to hand them a full reno, and now you're into them for $15,000, and they get halfway through the project and now they don't want to finish, you know. So
Oh, you sing it to the
yeah.
choir.
I've heard too many stories.
Absolutely.
About that. So, you know, and then they walk off with their money because what they did is they took your money and paid the last job that they had to finish the last job. And now they're planning, if they are going to finish your job, they're planning to take the money from the next job, rob Peter and pay Paul, you know. And that's not a good way to run a business by any means. So.
Absolutely, it's not. And we got to level up. And we're going to be putting on other monthly events, networking events here in the city. We're going to be putting on events like that. And just one of the things we're going to be talking about is contractors showing up in excellence and stuff. Because often some of the contractors, they are robbing Peter to pay Paul, and they're not really taking care of business. And we want to teach them those type of things.
Yep. Most definitely. And the thing is that I think for the past couple of years, we've had where contractors can get away with anything because we had a shortage of contractors.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think we're come to the a medium point right now where at least we got contractors, but now the work's dying down. So so it's becoming a little bit more competitive, you know. Or it's becoming a lot less competitive. Let me rephrase that. So now I really want to see everybody there. Now, what we're going to try to do, I can't guarantee you we do. Now, every day this week, we're going to try to bring on another speaker. So we're going to have, I know I only do this every other week. Okay. But going forward every day, if I can get somebody, that is, it's big if I can get one of the speakers to come on with me every night, we're going to do another live and try to go from there. And that way you get an idea of what's happening and what you're going to get on Saturday. So I honestly think that everybody who's here needs to show up. If you're watching this, you know, please do show up so that we can, you know, so that we can represent Detroit and you can learn in the process.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So with that being said, any closing remarks that you want to do before we head on out?
I would just like to say that we do have an office in a 2XL office in Southfield, Michigan. And like you said, that everybody that's watching and that's going to watch the replay, you definitely need to be at our event this Saturday, June the 3rd from 10 to 3:30. And I hope to see everybody that's watching and going to watch the replay.
Most definitely. So check it out, June 3rd, you know, get your tickets and we can kind of go from there. I'm really happy. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask, what is your plans for the future? Okay. What is your plans for your real estate future? My plans is to purchase some more property here in the city and maybe go to other states and possibly purchase some property and
working with the youth to help them to put some of the homes together. So that's what I would like to do. I'll be doing that soon.
Okay. And, how can, if people want to help you or want to get in contact with you, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they could call me at 248-250-3533. That's 248-250-3533.
Sweet. All right. So, hopefully you don't get slammed with a bunch of calls, but, that's great. So anybody who wants to help her out in the future, by all means, contact her. It sounds like you're doing a really good thing, part of the community, as far as bringing up group homes and things like that. Honestly, you still got to make a living at the end of it, right?
Absolutely.
So,
I have one more thing too, Randy. I also want to say that I do do a lot in the community. We do gift bags for Mother's Day, taking to the shelters. We're going to do again for Father's Day. So somewhere down the line, we are going to be needing some assistance with that. And we do still have room for some vendors at the event that's coming up June the 3rd. So if anybody is watching and want to be a vendor, please reach out. Lyric posted the other number, or either you could call the 248 number. We still have some spaces available for that. Again, if you're watching this and you're into real estate, you definitely want to be there.
Awesome. And just so if you're watching this, the number that she gave is a great number to reach. Also, the one that Rick posted in the chats, which is 866-955-9973. Again, 866-955-9973, extension 2. All right. So, check them out. It looks like great people to work with and see what we can do. Now, how is the event going to be structured? Is it going to be different times, different people speaking, and there's going to be workshops going on at the same time or anything like that?
Yes. So it is going to be structure in the morning. I don't have like the layout. But it is going to be structured. People are going to be speaking, one person after the other. Then it is going to be some workshops. Okay.
Awesome. And then actually, sorry, the number is 866-955-5573. Not the other one. It's 866-955-5573, extension 2. So, yeah, hopefully we got the workshops, they got people speaking, things like that. I'm going to try to, cover that as much as possible and kind of go from there. Now, Wendy, what's your number again?
248-250. 3533.
All right. Oh, hold on. 248-250.
3533.
3533. There we go.
3533. That's what you have. Okay, that's correct. Yes.
Yep. So this is her number here. 248-250-3533. All right. I'm holding it here on the screen. And anybody who wants to contact Wendy, go ahead and do that and go from there. All right. Now, I'm happy. This is going to be a shorter one than we normally do, but since we're going to do more than one this week, I'm happy to do that. Is there anything else you want to cover while we're here?
That will be it. I'll be sending you a text message, with the other people that we discuss, and so hopefully they're firm and get you the stuff that they needed to forward to you ASAP. Yes, and thank you.
Sounds great. No problem. Thank you, Wendy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you down. Just stay here. I'll talk to you a little bit after.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening.
All right. Awesome, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for having me. Thank you for joining us on this great Tuesday. It's normally we do it on a Monday, but because of holidays, we got to still spend time with the family. So With that being said, hopefully everyone has a great night. Enjoy this nice hot weather that we have here in Michigan, and come to our event. Come to the event on June 3rd. I will be there. I'll be covering it as much as possible, and it's going to be we're going to have a blast. As you guys know, I'm an open book. Okay. So I will be, you asked me for advice. I'm going to be open and honest with you. All right. You want to work with me on a deal, by all means. This is my number right here at the bottom. There we go. Right there at the bottom. Give me a call. Don't be shy. If I don't answer, leave me a message, shoot me a text message. We'll talk. All right. Now, until the next time, let's all do deals together. Have a great day.